Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as personal readings go, I'm still taking a break from those. Not sure when I'm going to pick them back up yet, but when I make an update, I'll be sure to post that in the community section of the channel. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic cross spread as always, and then I also pulled some Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you. So we'll get started with the main spread first. The main situation position, we have the Devil, which is the major arcana card for Capricorn, and the Six of Swords, which is Aquarius energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you might want to take a small vacation away from work. The reason I say work is, for you guys, Capricorn is your second house of finances, so you could just be really tied up in, you could have been really working hard, and then with that Aquarius energy representing your third house, to me, that's what makes me think of, maybe a short trip, not necessarily a huge vacation, but maybe just a long weekend, something along those lines, because you might have really just been, again, putting a lot of your energy and focus into your finances, trying to build them up. For some of you, this could even be a bad habit that you're trying to get rid of, though, with the Devil energy, trying to leave a bad habit behind. So, whether it's some kind of an addictive quality or just something that doesn't really serve you in a positive way that you could be trying to get rid of this month. And for some of you, this could be a connection as well, maybe a connection that you feel is toxic for you that you're trying to leave behind. So that's a few ways I could see those energies playing out there. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the High Priestess, which is actually a Pisces energy. But really what I'm seeing here could just be saying that intuitively you're not sure which way to go about getting out of the situation. So that could be the difficulty for you. This could also point to the fact that, you guys are going to have Mercury go retrograde in October in Scorpio, which is your 12th house. So that could be pointing to that Piscean energy there too. So, you might have a lot of vivid dreams, but then also at the same time when it comes to actually taking action on things, you might feel like you're in a bit of a fog and not sure, if you could trust your intuition at this time. So that could be a bit of a difficulty for you. If that's the case, that Six of Swords in that regard too could just be saying, if you're feeling yourself caught up in one of those cycles, maybe you should just try to get away for a couple days. Like I said, even just a long weekend, not anything major. But that's what I see there. In the foundation position, we have the Nine of Cups. So this energy usually represents contentment, being happy with what you have, and usually that does tend to bring more things your way. This is Pisces energy too, which for you guys is your fourth house. So this could just be saying that you're content to be at home. So like I said, maybe you've just really been working hard lately and you just need a break. And for some of you, you might not even care if you don't travel anywhere. You're just like, look, I'll even sit at home. I just need to really detach, be comfortable, right? I mean, what's the point of working really hard for something anyway if you can't actually take some time to enjoy it? So this could be the mode that you guys are in this month, just trying to do that. And quite frankly, it might be a good time to do so too. Like I said, we're going to have that Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, which could definitely be some tricky energy. We have Mars retrograde in your 5th house. So, could be a good time for you to just relax a little bit if you can. Speaking of relaxing, in the past position, we have the Four of Swords. And this is Libra energy. So this could just be saying that you guys might have gone through a heartbreak recently, because obviously this is the card that comes after the Three of Swords. So this could just be saying that you guys might have been healing. And, sometimes that could be what happens. So for some of you, it might have been one of those things where the way you chose to heal from a failed connection might have been to throw your energy into your work, right? And then it might have just gotten to a point where it became to be too much. And you're like, okay, I got to tone this down now. And like I said, and for some of you, could have been some kind of an addictive tendency that you had as well. So that could have been another way that it might have manifested in the negative way, where you're like, okay, I got out of this connection, And through the healing process, you might just pick up a bad habit to just kind of distract your mind from the situation. So that could have been what happened for some of you. In the present position, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this represents balance being restored in the situation. For some of you, this can't even be around the workplace because this is Taurus energy, which for you guys is your sixth house. So could definitely point to a work situation. But yeah, I mean, really, this could just be saying you're even trying to find internal balance. Because, like I said, with that devil energy and the Six of Swords, you could realize some things that might be out of balance for you a bit, and you're trying to regain that balance. So that could be what this is representing for some of you as well. And this can represent a connection as well, where, like I said, maybe if there was an imbalance there, it could be getting restored in that regard. In the near future position, we have the moon. So yeah, again, I feel like what we were saying with the high priestess in a challenge position, you might feel like you can't necessarily trust your intuition at this time, which can make things a little tricky. Like I said, a Mercury retrograde in your 12th house can definitely be a bit tricky, so that doesn't surprise me really. If that's the case, just keep in mind it is a temporary transit. It's not going to last forever. So you might just have to ride it out a bit. So like we were saying there, whether you take some kind of long weekend or even just relax at home, just, disconnect for a bit, that might help you out with the situation. And this could also be an indicator for you to pay attention to the moon cycles in October. So right at the very start of October, we're going to have a full moon in Aries, which is your fifth house, and it's going to be conjunct Chiron. So that might bring up some old memories for you from the past. And then we have the new moon that's going to happen in Libra. And that's going to be kind of a tricky one too, because it's going to be square Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, so that could affect your finances in some way too. So something to keep in mind there. And then at the very end of the month, we're actually going to have a full moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus. So just keep an eye out for those moon cycles. Maybe you'll see some information coming your way around those times. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Five of Cups. So yeah, I feel like this is just, again, an indicator that maybe you guys are trying to shake a bad habit, or like I said, maybe put a connection behind you that was a bit toxic, or even just emotionally put it behind you. Even if you physically might have separated from this person a while ago, you might just keep having memories of them. And with this being Scorpio energy, again, I definitely feel like this is clearly pointing to what we were saying with that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. You just might be reminiscing on past situations and maybe, looking at where things went wrong. Could things have gone differently? So I feel like a little bit of a second guessing energy there on your part. All right. In the environment position, we have the Tower. So for a lot of you, I don't necessarily see this as relating to a current relationship you're in, but for me, this would be more of a situation where, like I said, I feel like this would be the past being dredged up in some way. So again, maybe you're just getting sudden insights on an old connection and maybe seeing things from a different perspective now, and it could really, serve as a shock to your system in a way in that regard. For some of you, of course, this can be something that's still going to happen. Trying to think of, well, I mean, at the very end of the month, like I said, the real tricky energy there would be that full moon at the very end of October in Taurus. That's probably the trickier energy that I would see for October. Aside from that, I don't necessarily see anything that could bring a Tower moment about as far as astrologically speaking. So for a lot of you, like I said, I feel like this is going to be more something of you guys just replaying old scenarios in your head and, maybe feeling like, oh man, I could have done this, could have done that in a more positive way. If this is around, like I said, some kind of a toxic connection or maybe some kind of a bad habit you've had, this could be one of those things that help shake you out of that as well, which would be a positive manifestation of that. So, for example, just a generic thing, maybe if you guys feel like you have a drinking problem, right, since we see those spilled cups there, could just be some kind of situation that kind of, snaps you out of that mode for a bit. So, something to keep in mind there. And then as far as a way of a physical manifestation that this might play out as, for example, if you're in the U.S. right now, there are those fires going on in the West Coast. So just keep in mind if you get like evacuation orders, I would say definitely trust those. Don't really hesitate. We still have hurricane season going on as well. That's another situation where you might get some kind of an evacuation order. So just be on the lookout for those. Try to trust those. If you do hear them, don't really try to ignore it. That could be what this tower card could be pointing to as well. And I always point out to people when I see the tower card, if you want to carry a protection stone around with you, maybe you could get some black tourmaline. That's usually pretty good. So, and it's pretty inexpensive as well. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So, feeling like these are probably both the hope of yours, especially this being Aquarius energy. Some of you might be dealing with an Aquarius, quite frankly. But with these two cards coming up here, this is Virgo energy, by the way. This could just be saying that you're hoping for more stability and success within your career, and possibly even in a one-on-one connection. Maybe you're hoping for more stability around a romantic relationship. But either way, with that King of Swords energy there, it could just be saying that the key would be you actually communicating about that. So something to keep in mind there. And then I do have to say, I was drawn to the fact that we have the 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck too. So again, I feel like for a lot of you, this is really going to be around that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. It's pretty intense energy as is, especially for someone having that in their 12th house. It could definitely be kind of tricky. So, you're not imagining things if you are feeling these kinds of energies where you're really stuck in your head, maybe losing sleep. It should pass. So keep that in mind. And in the outcome energy, we have the King of Cups, Scorpio energy again, and then we have 7 of Wands, which is Leo energy. So really, I feel like this is you guys literally trying to fight these thoughts in your head. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I've had enough of this. You could just be like, okay, I'm totally over this energy. Because I can imagine, you guys don't necessarily like to be stuck in your head very long anyway. So that could be part of what it is. This energy could just really start to irritate you after a while, and you're like, okay, I need to get out of this mode. The good thing is, though, this definitely represents an energy where you could overcome whatever you're going through. So like I said, whether it's some kind of a bad habit, some kind of an addiction that you guys have been dealing with. Usually that's not the easiest thing you would think with the 12th house, but I do see some supportive energies here that say that, this might be the month that for whatever reason you're actually able to kick that habit. So pretty good news there. I'm trying to see if anything else comes to mind with this. The good thing here too is if these are just some kind of if this is more of like a self-doubt situation, where you might be second guessing yourselves around something, with this card here, the Leo energy representing your 9th house, could just be saying that you might start to see things from a higher perspective too, and you realize, okay, you know what, these are just rational fears or whatever, or yes, this is something I went through, but it was a long time ago. I've come a long way since then, so it could be one of those situations as well. So overall, pretty positive vibes. And it could just be saying as far as the timeline too, because if you think about it, toward the end of the month of October, we'll be in Scorpio season. So it could be saying around that time, that might be when you finally do overcome whatever you're going through. So could be a bit of a bumpy month, quite frankly, early on in the month. But by the end of the month, it looks like you guys will be coming out of that. So that's the positive there. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards now. First, we have Yin. There's the artwork, and the number is 2. Okay, it says the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information, and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. The Oracle's message: this is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. So definitely a pretty positive message there as well, as far as just, trying to stay in that receptive energy and let things come your way. Especially if you feel like you're stuck in your head and you can't necessarily trust your intuition too. That might be the best bet anyway, as opposed to actively seeking things out. Kind of let them come to you. So hopefully that resonated. All right, the relationship message says, let others take the lead right now. Your power lies in small gestures, soft awareness, and conscious surrender. By yielding the reins, you will find yourself effortlessly moving closer to what you truly desire. Permit others to tell you who they are and who they can be to you by allowing their actions to speak about them. You will be pleasantly surprised. So definitely a pretty positive message there too, as far as, like I said, if you might just really kind of still be, stuck in a past situation that you haven't fully healed from yet. Could just be saying to try to stay open in that regard and really just observe how this new person is. The prosperity message says this is a time when the most effective action is to allow others to show you the way forward. Observe their behavior and follow their lead. Your desire to push through must take a back seat for now. Collaborate and offer your ideas rather than dictating what must happen. Let others come to you. It's important that they feel they have power now. Another meaning is about releasing your need to have things in the form you want. How do you want to feel? Basking in your success. Now allow the universe to show you the form. Yin is the sign of essence. Things may go more smoothly than you expect. So an interesting message there too, because for some of you that could be what that devil represented too, like maybe an obsessive tendency on your part, to control everything in your environment. And it could just be saying with that Aquarius energy there that we saw with the Six of Swords to try to let go a little bit and let things flow a little bit more. And that could be why that High Priestess was coming up in the challenge position too, which is saying you need to be a bit more open and receptive and trust your intuition and let things unfold in that way. So hopefully that resonated for you. All right, next we actually had two cards that came up from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. The first one we had was Owl Spirit. It actually came up in reverse, so we'll read the protection messages for it, but it says you see clearly now. So if this come up in the reverse, definitely makes me think of the High Priestess coming up in the challenge position. So we'll see if that gives you some further insight there. Like I said, when the cards come up reversed, we read the protection message. So it says, are you feeling overwhelmed and overpowered by all that you are sensing? Are you highly sensitive right now and in information overload, feeling too much and taking in too much stimulation? The antidote for overwhelm is to become grounded and return to your safe nest so wisdom can offer you clarity and guide you on managing the flow. Take a break to ground yourself in the reality of your everyday senses. Go for a walk in nature. Perhaps you can stop to lie on the ground or hug a tree, or just stroll down the street beneath the soothing sky so that you can regroup and clear your energy field. Your wisdom and ability to make sense of all you are feeling and experiencing will return as Owl Spirit reminds you of your need to get clear. So definitely a pretty positive message there too, especially as far as the grounding as well. Like I was saying, if you guys do end up picking up some black tourmaline for protection too, that's also a good grounding stone, so that can help with that as well. But hopefully that resonated. And then the next card we have is Lion Spirit. And this, like I said, this also came up in reverse. But the message is be generous of spirit. So we'll see what that ends up speaking to, given that it was in reverse. Let's see what that says. Okay, it says, do you doubt you can do much good? Are you stuck in a state of scarcity thinking? Who am I to lead? Or who am I to step into my dream? Who am I to have an amazing relationship? Who am I to think I can help? Lion Spirit is here to tell you that the antidote for low self-esteem is stepping into healthy pride. Of course, you can do all that you desire. The spark of great spirit lives inside you, and you are here to steward that amazing energy into the world. Lion Spirit knows that great spirit invested in you so that you might be a channel for spirit's love and generosity. Take pride in your role, seeking to bring an abundance of love into the world. Perhaps you do much good already, but you're feeling unappreciated, wanting to hold back your gifts and hoard them for yourself. Maybe you are looking for attention and praise. Maybe you are even being generous with the expectation that you would be entitled to a repayment. Know that the real magic happens when you remember there is always enough, and you are always enough. Give freely without agenda or expectation, and let Lion Spirit remind you that in giving you receive. Then you will see that you are appreciated. Stop comparing yourself to others and seeing yourself as less than, for within you is a wellspring of generosity. So definitely an interesting message there. I didn't pick up on that vibe too heavily for you guys, but if that is what you guys have been going through, hopefully that resonated for you as well. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys, and the mudra you guys got for this month is the Hamsi mudra. There it is there, and the keyword for it is illumination. Alright, there's the info on it there if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But under benefits, it says removes obstacles in one's life, eases depression and sadness, evokes feelings of lightness and laughter, benefits the lungs and large intestine, improves assimilation of nutrients and elimination of waste. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of that mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you guys next month. Alright, bye.